Pechay is one of the easiest and most rewarding vegetables to grow, and you don't even need a garden to do it. I've successfully grown lush, healthy pechay in containers, pots and raised garden beds, all in small spaces. Whether you have a balcony, a rooftop, or just a sunny corner by your window, you can grow fresh pechay right at home. Stick with me, and I'll walk you through everything you need to know. And don't forget, if this guide helps you, subscribe to Hydro Haven, and share it with friends who want to grow their own food. The first step to growing pechay in a small space is selecting the right container. Pechay doesn't need a deep pot, but it does require enough space for the roots to spread. I like using containers that are at least 6 inches deep and have good drainage holes. Plastic pots, recycled buckets, and even wooden boxes work well. If you're using raised beds, just make sure the soil is loose and well draining. I've even grown pechay in repurposed plastic trays and they flourished as long as they had enough room to grow. Healthy soil equals healthy plants, and pechay thrives in nutrient-rich, well-draining soil. I always prepare my mix by combining garden soil, compost and cocoa peat or rice hulls to improve aeration. This ensures the roots get enough oxygen while holding the right amount of moisture. If you're buying potting mix, choose one that's rich in organic matter, or add aged compost to enhance fertility. Pechay prefers a soil pH between 6.0 and 7.0, so if you notice slow growth, check the pH and adjust if necessary. I like to directly sow pechay seeds into my containers because they germinate quickly. I simply scatter the seeds over the soil surface and cover them with a light layer of soil, about ½ an inch deep. Then, I gently water them to keep the soil moist. If you prefer, you can start the seeds in small trays and transplant them once they have a few true leaves. When transplanting, I space them about 4 to 6 inches apart so each plant has room to grow. Pechay loves sunlight, and I make sure my containers get at least 4 to 6 hours of direct sunlight daily. If you're growing indoors, placing them near a bright window or using a grow light works too. Since pechay grows fast, it needs consistent moisture. I water my plants once or twice a day, especially in warm weather. The goal is to keep the soil evenly moist without making it soggy. Overwatering can lead to root rot, so I always check that the excess water drains properly. Because pechay is a fast-growing vegetable, I like to feed it regularly to keep the leaves lush and healthy. Every 2 weeks, I apply compost tea or fish emulsion to encourage vigorous growth. If you prefer a commercial fertilizer, a balanced one like 10-10-10 works well. However, I always favor organic methods because they improve the soil in the long run. Additionally, adding a layer of compost around the base of the plants helps maintain moisture and provides a slow-release source of nutrients. Even when grown in containers, pechay can attract pests like aphids and caterpillars. I regularly check the leaves for signs of damage and use organic solutions to keep pests under control. My favorite method is spraying neem oil or a homemade garlic spray. This natural remedy keeps insects away without harming the plants. If I see caterpillars, I hand-pick them in the early morning. Keeping good airflow around the plants also prevents fungal diseases, so I avoid overcrowding my containers. One of the best things about growing pechay is how quickly it matures. In just 30 days, I can start harvesting. I like to pick the outer leaves first, which allows the plant to keep producing for a longer period. If I want a full head, I wait about 45 days before cutting the entire plant at the base. Harvesting regularly encourages new growth, so I always make sure to pick leaves as needed. If you want to extend your harvest, you can regrow pechay from scraps. After cutting the plant, I keep the root base in a shallow dish of water. In just a few days, new leaves start sprouting. Once the roots develop, I transplant it back into the soil, and within weeks I have another round of fresh greens. Pechay is one of the easiest and most rewarding vegetables to grow at home. It's packed with vitamins, grows incredibly fast, and requires minimal space. Whether you have a small balcony, a rooftop garden, or just a windowsill, you can enjoy fresh, homegrown greens anytime. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Hydro Haven and share this with friends who want to start their own mini garden. Let's grow together.